Sometimes it's just up to us to keep the family business running. After your father somewhat mysteriously kicked the bucket, it's your job now to keep the shipyard running smoothly. What does kinda suck though is finding out your dad was moonlighting as a cultist and almost everything surrounding him is very strange. Now it's up to you to discover exactly what happened to your father, what's going on in the town, and what exactly is this strange book you got. Sunken Engine is described as a Lovecraftian ship repair simulator. I feel like we're getting really free with tacking the simulator tag onto things, much like we are with the cozy tag, although I have to say, from a cozy/simulator standpoint, the game does a fantastic job of throwing you into a routine of taking jobs, cleaning ships, selling items, and exploring the town. To be honest, my main problem is that as I unlocked larger ships, I felt like there was a lot happening all at once, and I felt like I was getting a teensy bit stressed trying to manage everything. You're restricted to your business operations during the day, but as far as I could tell, that was the only time limit that was imposed upon me. Yes, the stress that I felt was placed on me by me. I am the problem, I know that. The game itself is relatively simple from a mechanic standpoint. When the day starts, you accept jobs via fax, and then you go down to the docks to accept your first customer of the day, picking up trash and scraping off barnacles, starfish, and oysters, maybe repair some of their planks, and then you wave goodbye and wait for the next job. You have a fairly simple tool wheel, and they became very second nature to me after the first couple of jobs. It was easy to develop that muscle memory since I was already establishing a routine. After you clean the ships, you can place oysters and starfish in your storefront as items to sell, and some of these people are very demanding for the oysters. But after you upgrade your kitchen, you can also check oysters for pearls, which obviously sell for a higher price. I do wish there was more detailed messaging for some of the upgrade menus because I definitely had to click around a lot and then I just kind of happened to stumble upon the things that I needed. It was so easy to get lost in that routine that for a moment I forgot that we were actually playing a cosmic horror game until I got that strange book and I started seeing things. I already felt like the art style was slightly unsettling, but once you start hearing noises and things, it really starts to make things a little more tense. You have a sanity meter to keep track of, which I'm actually hoping gets more difficult to manage in later chapters. The game is still in early access, so I'm going to be keeping an eye on things to see how the rest of the game shakes out, but once you start seeing things and your sanity meter turns to yellow, all you really need to do is puff on your pipe and you're more relaxed, keeping the Cthulhu's shenanigans at bay. The end of the first chapter does give me hope for future spookiness and more unsettling events, even more so because this is my first Lovecraftian game, so it could really go anywhere for me. There are other things to do during your time at the shipyard. You can fish and of course sell what you catch, and you actually can visit other areas in the town. One of those places, which is only available at night, is the tavern, where you can gamble, grab a pint, and talk with the locals. Other important areas include the mayor's office, where you'll purchase licenses and permits from bigger and better jobs, and the general store, which is available to you for obvious reasons. Once you've explored all of this, that is essentially it. At least for now. This is the part where you fall into the gameplay loop of managing your shipyard and your store. Not too complicated, not too boring, just a satisfying repetition of tasks with enough of a creepy atmosphere to keep you hanging around to see what happens next. I honestly think the scares could be ramped up a bit more, which is something that I personally never thought I would say, but there is more content coming and the devs seem pretty committed and on top of things, so I am perfectly happy to wait until the polishing is done and there's more to investigate. If you like your sim games with just a little bit more flavor, Sunken Engine is an exceptional contender with a great foundation, and it's available for you to check out on Steam. Thank you so much to Keymailer for the key, and thank you guys for hanging out. As always, I will see you in the next video.